Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Thompson. Honored to be here with you this evening. My pleasure tonight is to introduce you to the Powur Enterprise Program. Powur is able to empower a variety of individuals. And our mission, by the way, is to accelerate the adoption of solar on a worldwide basis. And what we do is we make it easier for all of the players who are involved to participate. That's the homeowner, the product manufacturers, the labor partners and contractors, and to us individual sales professionals or organizations. And with or without any experience in the solar industry, the platform has all of the services that you will need to be able to be empowered. And today, as I mentioned, my pleasure is to focus specifically on our enterprise program. It's a program built for anywhere from a small to a large scale business, and you'll meet a few of those people with us tonight. And it's really designed to help organizations scale. All right, so that being said, what does all that mean? If we look at Powur as an enterprise, I want to dive in, but I want you to see where we've evolved, how we come about. So before we get into that, you see that we're founded in 2014 by Mr. Jonathan Budd, a visionary CEO. He's led this company through truly incredible growth. This year, we'll bust well past $1 billion in lifetime revenue, installed well over 24,000 installations to date under the current business model. And we did have a history prior to this model, but we just really are focused on this current model. Have more than 7,000 active individual sellers in our platform, and more than 300 employees, more than 300 enterprise organizations, and more than 300 partners. I always kind of joke as 333 is my magic number. That just seems to resonate here. A lot of significance, that magical number of 300. And we've also been on the Inc. 5000 list 3 years running. Just remarkable to see. I've been in a couple of companies in my career that have achieved that twice, but to see a company achieve it 3 times and likely number 4. If you look at that, we went from 3 years ago at 938 in the rankings of over 30 million companies to Inc. 61. And then last year was to Inc. 43. I think there's lots ahead, and we're really proud because this is just the beginning. When you hear what we're doing with the enterprise program, serving companies like yourselves, this is really going to help us pursue much, much more, not only rapid growth, but incredible growth. I truly believe that enterprise will 10x Powur's revenue over the next 2 to 3 years. There's not a question in my mind about that. Okay, so who is this for? Let's talk about the ideal candidate. When we started this expansion of the platform, we envisioned certain types of users, most likely an active sales organization already in the business of selling solar. But as the program has grown and expanded, we're seeing the demand for multiple growing businesses. And if I were to characterize the active growing user program at enterprise today, you can see some of those types of companies that are on the chart here. And as we go through the features of the platform, you'll see it's why it's such a great fit, not only for these companies, but how it could be for you. From, let's just say if you're a lead generation company, you're able to leverage our closers and our custom compensation settings to earn more on the deals that are closed rather than just selling your leads to a company. You can actually participate in the ecosystem. Or if you're an installation company, a roofer, you're able to install your own projects. That you can do your roofing and include solar, and you can finance all that in one loan. Or you can bolt other things onto this just truly robust sales function that we have. And ultimately, the enterprise programs helps you to be more competitive, more profitable, and it also puts you in control. And you're going to hear a lot about us using that because it is important to know that this is a business that you have a tremendous amount of control versus the traditional programs that are out there. Oftentimes, the first question people have is, well, what's your footprint look like? Well, it's large, it's growing. We're frequently opening markets. In fact, we're in the midst of just opening up Puerto Rico, and we are preparing the soft launch for Hawaii. And we are in all of the states that it makes economical sense. There are some states that we may not be in for a couple of years because either the cost of energy is super low and it just doesn't make sense for somebody to convert to solar, or the utility is non-cooperative and it makes it economically unviable. But in the ones we are a full service company, and we have the partnerships, the markets, we maintain the warranty service, all the liability for all of our customers on a nationwide basis, and really with unparalleled support to our enterprise organizations. And the beauty of that is when you ask who is the installer, it's Powur. Powur is the general contractor. However, one of the wonderful things about this platform, as it's continuing to emerge, is installers are coming on our platform. I think the last count we had on Saturday was 52 installation partners who really we're seeing not a lot of options out there to be able to continue to thrive in a very changing environment. And we're providing that vehicle. You'll meet one of those incredible enterprise install partners tonight. All right. So with all that said, what is enterprise? It's a lot of things, as you'll see in the platform, but really to simplify it, it's an end-to-end sales enablement and fulfillment platform. And let's take a look at what that means. If you look at the kind of the tangled web, if you will, that you normally have to go through, if you've experienced looking for an EPC or a red line program, or, hey, I want to get in the solar business, where should I go? This is what happens. I mean, all these different options you have to look at, you have to qualify for. In some cases, it may take a year of working with someone else before you can even begin an application process to be considered. Some of these, if I look at just Goodly, for example, there's 14,000 solar companies in the United States. Only about 200 have been approved to work with Goodly. Guess what? You get access to all of this as part of the platform, so that you're able to deliver a great value to your homeowners. You're able to deliver a great value to yourself and your teams. You can manage the process, and you can do that in affordable and a scalable fashion, all the way from the initial marketing through the proposal design, from financing, product fulfillment, administrative functions, hiring, training, onboarding, commissioning. All of that can be very expensive if you do it the way that's on the screen. But Powur truly simplifies all of that. And here's how that's done. We believe there is a better way. And that was really the mantra for us as we grew with 7,000 sellers. But now the next evolution of Powur is truly a better way, because with Powur, you're getting one platform that delivers every one of those bullet points that you saw on a previous slide. It's truly an end-to-end sales enablement and project fulfillment platform. This means from the time that you have the initial conversation or digital interaction with an interested homeowner, all the way through putting glass on the roof and powering that home with solar energy, we are with you every step of the way. But it doesn't end there, because you also have to build and run your organization. And as an organization, one of Powur's key pillars and a critical part of our business model is that we are a tech platform. I mean, we spend a lot of money on software, spend a lot of money on technology, and most of our technology is proprietary and has been built by our team, as opposed to just white labeling some off-the-shelf software. And one of the discoveries that I've done while we were working this program, I'm meeting up with small to mid-sized solar companies and sales orgs who are paying anywhere from a couple thousand to $30,000 to $40,000 a month just to maintain their software. That all comes with Powur in the platform. So it enabled us really to focus on three categories: sales enablement, project fulfillment, and administrative control. So let's take a look at those three that I just popped on the screen. If you look at that, let's talk about sales enablement in particular. Dive into a few key features. Oh, by the way, this presentation is not meant to be a full demo of the platform, because there just really isn't enough time for that. But I'll share some of the key elements that you'll need to know if this is a good match for you, and everything that you need to enhance and improve the path from lead to contract to glass on the roof is fulfilled through this enablement platform. So first, what we do is we offer a full suite of brand and marketing tools. Our library has landing pages, social content, homeowner communications, flyers, sales collateral, and a lot more. And we know that many organizations, by the way, if you have your own marketing programs, fantastic. Some of you are adept to marketing, and that's why we've also built an API that allows you to do your own marketing and connect your leads directly into our platform. And we also offer co-branding. So we spent a lot of money creating these incredible resources. We can co-brand them, and your brand is listed specifically on all of those marketing materials. So whether you use our brand, whether you use your brand, or whether you co-brand, You are the one who make that decision. You have access to all of the library of materials that we're sharing with you here on the screen and much more behind the scenes. On the next section, next on sales enablement, we know how absolutely central the proposal, the design tool is. Anybody who comes into the industry has always got a lot that they have to vet out. What is the right tool for me to use? That's why we built our own. We've been using third-party solutions, recognizing that, hey, we've got to have a proprietary proposal system. We call it Vision. It offers you clean and simple tools that you can design, you can present virtually or in person, anytime, anywhere. Beautiful, visual. It's one that I've not seen anything as clean as this in the industry. And we took even the step to embed the homeowner presentation into the proposal, so you don't have to flip from a deck over to an actual proposal tool. You choose what slides that you want to activate, and you present directly from one specific file. It really makes it super easy for the homeowner and more professional, really helps your credibility. And most crucially, I think, is that the innovation of our proposal tool is the control that we give you as an enterprise. You can manage your own designs. So you can say, hey, you design it and give us back a max fit design, or hey, I'll design my own. You have complete control. You can control your adders, your pricing, your margin. And you're going to hear about margin and cost of goods in our model here in just a few minutes, but you're in the driver's seat. And when it comes to the economic value for your homeowner and for your organization, that's critical. And as an owner, you have the flexibility in setting access to the privileges each of your users can, like the margin control or the project cost or anything that you want or do not want them to see. You have the ability to do that inside the Powur Platform as an enterprise. As another key part of this enablement, ensuring that you have the best possible value to your homeowners, we believe in offering a whole home solution. Consumer demand for clean energy is definitely on the rise, and it's not just about solar. It's about multiple ways to limit our footprint on the environment and take down that pollution that's happening. And today, it's inclusive of solar, of roofing, of storage, of smart panels, of EV chargers, and more and more and more are going to come about in that powered home. So you have multiple products. And I often sometimes say the product that's probably going to make you the most revenue is something that we don't even carry yet. I can see with enterprise that we're going to be able to carry different verticals. Let's just say you get into HVAC, you get into siding, you get into things that are going to improve the energy efficiency of a home. Those are all on our radar, but we've got to master this portion first. And I think we're going to do it much quicker with enterprise. And by the way, you can close deals. If you have a sales team, you bring your sales team onto the platform, they can close the deals. They have access to all the tools. You control their settings. Or you use our closers. We have hundreds and hundreds of them around the country. And I'll talk a little bit about the technology that you can use to do that. So we're constantly monitoring what new solutions and what things you want. And now that we've gotten to the point where we are with well over 300, we're starting to do masterminds with the enterprises to really find out what is the next step. What have we missed? So far, I don't think we've missed much, but what can we improve? And that's a benefit of having a platform. To have the ability to be very, very, forward-looking and have tremendous scalability for each of you. And if you look at the different options that you have access to, this is all available directly through the platform. You don't have to establish any of these relationships at all. All right, kind of wrapping up on the sales enablement part is the financing portfolio. The type of financing that works for your customers varies. Nowadays, it varies. We used to say it varied yearly, now it varies quarterly, and now it varies month to month, and sometimes it's varying day to day in these crazy times that we have with the rising interest rates, which are causing dealer fees to increase. So it's really important to have a versatile portfolio of lending options, anywhere from the loan to the lease to the PPA. And all of this is really what we believe is making the model better for your organization. It's about diversity. It's about choice and flexibility. And we facilitate all of the industry leading offers. There are some that are not on the platform. There's reasons they're not on the platform. Plus, we make it easy for you and your organization to choose the right product. We get this really cool tool that we have up here where it's Sharon. You can actually type in the amount of the cash price and tell it to calculate for you which is going to be the best product for my homeowner to get the lowest monthly payment, which is going to be the best product to have the best overall loan amount. There's options. You just look at it with a click of a button. You don't have to go trying to figure it out. Again, that's benefits of software development, benefits of a platform. All right. And then with regard to the closing options, this is the last feature I'll cover on sales enablement. You may have a team, as I mentioned, of seasoned and people who are prepared to close and sell day one. Great. Or you may have a team that's more adept at generating leads. Let's say you're a real estate office. You may not want to be selling solar, but you can generate a lot of leads and you can pass that off to within our platform through this program called Powur Pair. You can pass off, let's say somebody wants to have a Spanish speaker present, or they want someone in person and you're not in that city, or any number of reasons that you can choose from our Powur Pair. It'll give you the top 3 people in that specific utility to give you the best experience for your homeowner. And again, since you're offering that sale opportunity to a seller in our platform, you can also set the terms. So it really gives you the flexibility and helps you close more deals. If you're, let's say, an installer who's saying, well, maybe I don't see the value of having Powur as my platform on my local sales, but I do want to expand my business into other markets. That's another perfect case study for why solar companies are coming to Powur to be able to expand without having to invest into the capital infrastructure necessary to do that. All right, so that's the first section. First section being sales enablement. Let's talk a little bit about fulfillment, because once the project's closed, it really is about fulfillment. Powur has built a unique and a highly scalable model for project fulfillment that includes a variety of in-house project services paired with a network of certified, really vetted and tested labor partners for really the best hybrid model. It's asset light and it's technology fuel, which ensures that projects go fast and are high quality. So let's take a look at how we do that. It first starts with the early steps of the project. Powur has built its own innovative app that empowers homeowners or your team or our on-demand partners to perform the site survey. It can be a virtual site survey, it can be a homeowner site survey, or it can be an on-demand site survey. And it's in a very simple, user-friendly app, and you can perform the site survey the same day. And what that means is you're going to get paid the milestone payments quicker, typically within 48 hours of a completed site survey. This then goes to our in-home design and engineering team to develop accurate plan sets, which is what's necessary to move to permitting. And these all work together to get your project up running quickly and smoothly. And we recently brought on some very serious, heavy talent into the Powur Platform. And historically, we've been running about 72 days from contract to glass on the roof. The mission that we're on is to take that number to sub 45 days. Now, there's cases that we're putting it in 7 to 10 days. But I'm saying as an overall average, when you've got batteries, you've got any number of resources such as ground mounts and complications and main panel upgrades, that's the numbers that we've been running at. And we really have a mission and vision to get us to sub 45-day install times. And if you're an install partner on that, you can certainly help us with that even more. So then we move to the fulfillment for your project. We have a complete suite of services and communication tools to make this a smooth process for you and for your homeowner. Each project that runs through the platform gets a dedicated project manager. They get access to the homeowner application. They get real-time updates on the project, beautiful and clear messages. As you can see, these are email messages that are going out. And you get access to a detailed type of reporting on all of your project manager notes right in your enterprise back office, along with dedicated ticket system between you and your project manager. You get the visibility of every milestone, every step of the way. I can't tell you how many times somebody say, well, I haven't heard anything on my project. They go and look in their milestones and boom, everything's there. Or I'm having a problem on my project. It doesn't seem to be moving forward. And you go to your milestones and it's there. That's the beauty of technology. It's the beauty of a platform. And then what I truly love is on the fulfillment end, the distributed local labor partner. And you as an enterprise partner have a tremendous amount of flexibility. We believe in the power of distributed labor partner models that enables us to tap into the unique local and regional expertise of those partners, as well as the speed to those markets. It allows us to also add markets. There are some people coming on our platform that we're going to open markets. You can hear about one of those tonight. We're going to open markets specifically because of that partner coming onto our platform. It also enables us to tap into unique regional expertise, the knowledge level that needs to be there locally. And for you, it means that you have the power to select and assign any of our large and growing certified labor partners, more than 300 of those today, or as an enterprise partner, you can assign your own from the certified list. So you can have us do it, or you can say, hey, I know this company in Orlando that I want to do my installs. Or even better than that, if you're an installer, we'll do all the procurement for your projects. You simply sell it, we'll deliver all the goods, and you install it. That's the best of all worlds. That to me is an ecosystem type of relationship. It's really truly that flexible, and it enables us, again, for fast, sustainable growth through this network. Okay, so that's 2 out of 3 of the pillars. Gets us through the project end, but what about all the other aspects of the business, the admin side, right? Bringing on teams, training them, paying them, tracking your projects, and all the other things that's required to run your business. This is the 3rd pillar of our feature categories. That's just how it comes into play. So let's look at how admin control comes into play. So first, it starts with building and structuring your team. And many of our enterprise partners come to Powur with an existing team. So we've built a simple and flexible model for you to add multiple user types. You can assign and onboard each of those onto the teams with individual roles and privileged settings. You can also invite new team members and get these members assigned and onboarded. We know that some of your team will come with a varying degree of solo knowledge. So we give you the power to determine which certification and onboarding requirements that you want them to have. And taking all that together, that flexibility allows you to envision and create the best structure for your team. It's truly a powerful feature to let you know that you have control. But I'll say this, the training that you can provide your team members, it's unparalleled in the industry. This training came from 3 different sources. It was a course that I used to sell for $5,000, sold thousands of those. And then we collaborated with the author of the book, Selling Solar, and 5 people plus the 2 of us for a year spent the time developing the initial core certification modules. The first certification module is very basic. Everybody goes through the fundamentals of solar. And then the second is more of a deep dive that if you really want to understand how to properly educate and enroll a homeowner, how to go solar, this is the best platform in the industry to do. And I think at some point, regulation is going to start to occur. And you'll look at Powur and say, well, this company actually had the type of training and certification that the industry needs. That's my belief. One of the beautiful things is you can create your own comp plan. You can create your team structure. You can create your comp plan settings. You have the ability to customize that. So you can have your default settings, or you can customize that by individual based upon where they're entering your organization. And then Powur will pay and distribute the commissions per your settings, taking the burden of your payroll, managing your distributions, reporting, 1099s, take all of that off of your shoulders, or your CPAs, which until this feature came out, I was paying hundreds of dollars per month just to get the payroll process for the team that I had that's supporting me. Or if you prefer Powur pay you and you pay your organization, you can do that again. Again, you are in control. We're just trying to take as much of the heavy lift off of you scaling your business as we possibly can. And finally, we offer a large and growing library of certification. I talked a little bit about that. And this is something that we take very, very seriously. We have a state-of-the-art studio that we do a lot of our training in. We just had an event this past Saturday that we had 1,000 people or so that were on board watching the training from our studio. We had 14 or 15 of our field leaders come in and do video training and live training and panels. It was just phenomenal. So this is just an example of some of the things you can do. You'll find our knowledge base is absolutely phenomenal. So many times I get a question, I just say, just check a knowledge base. And it takes all the heavy lifting off of you as an owner and allows the model, the platform, to be able to answer all of the questions with just a simple search button. I call it the Google of solar. Right? That's not something we can frame. So these are kind of a recap of all of the different sales enablement, project fulfillment, and all of the administrative controls. It's, again, a quick recap of the features that we saw. I won't read through those for you. And as you review those, I'll mention that it's hard sometimes to narrow down which features to highlight because you have all got different usage, different applications. So some well-established installation roofing companies are particularly drawn to our supply chain, our procurement abilities. So that's something you don't ever have to worry again about supply chain. We manage all that. Some solar sales orgs embrace the potential to build teams from people who are brand new to solar, and they use our training and certification program to get them up to speed. And of course, all of the organizations are drawn to the flexibility into the commissioning, being able to design your own plan within ours and have us manage all of that and distribute that for you. So speaking of Powur's compensation, I did say, you heard about that cost of goods model. Let's go ahead and take a look at how that works. And this is what truly sets us apart. And it's what's fueled our massive growth since launching this model. In a COGS model, the philosophy is based on transparency being king. COGS models are fundamentally different from the outdated other models, or red line and EPC type of models. Not that those were terrible, it's just they're outdated based upon how we've approached the industry. And this gives you the single biggest earning potential in the industry. And you'll see in total transparency, such as what you see on the screen here, every individual component of the project and the cost to Powur. You choose the products. You set the pricing, you set your margin, you determine how much you want to distribute to your team. You choose. Plus, Powur's buying power, our cost of goods, is often decreasing over time, and we pass that savings on to you. Whereas in a red line model, you get a red line as their costs start to come back down after this crazy couple of years that we've been through, they're going to pocket that money. They can, because that's the way the model is designed. In Powur, it comes to you. We saw cost decreases anywhere from 10 to 20 cents a watt in panel pricing just over the last 90 days. And guess who gets the lion's share of that? You'll hear about that during the cost as I get into the COGS model. So you get absolute full transparency throughout the entire project life cycle, and no hidden or last minute adders or fees. That is absolutely critical for people who've come from other companies. Oftentimes you hear the horror stories of how they find out at the last minute all these additional costs that come up. That doesn't happen with Powur. You're kept in the process all on the way. You have an option. If something was not discovered when you sold the project, you can get a change order, or you can decide to eat the difference. You know in advance. It's not coming out when you're expecting your final milestone payment. So how do we pay out? This is the key. Using the COGS model, the margin on the project is often very lucrative. On average, it's about $10,000 per project, if I look at the normal averages. And since this is a SaaS platform, we believe in passing on the majority of that margin directly to our valuable sales partners, sellers, Powur sellers, or enterprise. Powur only keeps 15% of the net margin on the project, 15%. And here's how the rest is split up. 70 to 80% of that net margin goes to you. And you can see here that there's a 70 to 80%, which is on average about $7,000. There's a volume bonus. If you're hitting milestones and you get up to that 80% rev share, there's another 10% of that margin that can go to you. And all you're hitting at that level is 60 sales per month on a rolling calendar average, 30-day rolling calendar. There's increments from 72 to 75 to 77 and to 80. But if you look at that, that blows any red line program completely out of the water. And again, this is just the averages. We also have a tier 3 sales partner. This is what's kind of cool for you, is if you're generating leads through referrals and somebody wants to meet with somebody, you can send somebody on a local level who can go take care of that for you. You'll be able to look at their statistics and choose them. Also, your sellers can become tier 3. And they can also help other people close their deals, and you get overrides on them through the team bonuses. Team bonuses is something that I've never seen in any company I've been in, and it pays out 6 levels. And you can see on average, you've got about $150 to $550 per installation that's taking place within your entire network. So it's got a lot of multiple streams of income, and finance rebates is another truly uniqueness to Powur. Powur has changed the game. I've been in the industry for 12 years. I've been part of every economic model, and I know every single major red line program, EPC, is making this money and they're putting it in their pocket. Powur gives it back to us as an additional stream of income. And there's so many people that receive $60,000, $70,000 a year pay raises just because Powur decided we're going to share this. And it's wonderful to see. They provide you with 1.5% of every project eligible loan in the form of a rebate. They don't put it in their pocket. They give it to you, the seller, the enterprise, and you as an enterprise have the ability to determine how much of that you want to share. You can keep it all for operating expenses and for growth, or you can share some of that, or you can pass on whatever portion you want to your sellers as you desire. And then lastly, Powur is really committed to our growth and to creating an entrepreneurial community. This is the key. When you get a chance to meet Mr. Jonathan Budd, you're going to see the passion that this man has for this company and for the entrepreneurship. This is what kept me in it. I mean, I thought many times about leaving this industry. When I met Jonathan, I locked arms and I knew that this was going to become the company where consolidation would eventually occur. And I believe we're in the best place for that. And with that, we get stock options. We get to be owners inside the Powur Platform. We won't go into the details of it, but it certainly gets for enterprise has a very, very lucrative stock option benefits. Okay, so now you've heard about the features of the platform. I'd really like to share just a little bit about who and what kind of company Powur is. I mentioned Jonathan a few times, but Jonathan started the company after a visit to the Amazon rainforest. It was about a decade ago, and he found a deep commitment to sustainability, and it ultimately drove him to start this platform. That commitment is what fuels our belief in being part of doing good, being a good business, being good global citizens, being a certified B corporation and public benefit corporation, which is only about 2,000 worldwide, which means that everything that we do is focused on creating the highest possible impact that we can in this world, but balancing purpose with profitability. So when you when you partner with Powur, you can rest assured that you are partnering with a company with the highest level of integrity and truly a genuine commitment to not only growth and profitability, but also impact, community, and to purpose. All right, last slide here. We'll wrap it up. So and then we do have a couple of interviews we want to go through today. I just want to really dive into this enterprise model with you first. So this is how you can participate in the platform. As a Powur enterprise, your licensing fee is $350 a month. That includes all the features that we covered today. So again, this is about enterprise. There's other roles, as you can see on the screen. You're also able to add sellers for your organization for $25 for a support person, $50 per month for a user. Depending upon their role, the seller is $50 per month. And that comes with unlimited design proposals, by the way, which you'd normally pay $15 to $25 per proposal. There's no cost for all of that, as long as you're closing 10% of those deals, which obviously you should be. And if you're an individual seller and you're not quite ready for enterprise, but you came on this meeting today, there's a place for you as well. There's a place for people who say, hey, look, I'm a top seller and I want to have a team manager. I want to have somebody supporting me. I want them handling my tickets. That's where the Powur Pro comes in. But tonight, again, we're specifically speaking to the Powur Enterprise Organization. And those are all the features that you can find in that role. We truly believe that this is the absolute smartest way to grow your organization, not just solar, but your actual organization. So I want to stop the presentation here in a moment, and then we're going to bring on a couple of guests. We'll still have you wrapped up well before the top of the hour. And if we have some time, we'll answer some of the questions that might be inside the chat. Stand by. We have two very special guests with us here this evening. Rhino, I see you there on the screen. If we can we're going to bring you up. I'll bring myself and you up on Spotlight, just to make it simple. Now I'm going to find you since I did myself. Thank you. Mark Swift is here as well. And if you can bring up Rhino, that will get on. There you go. Thank you. Good to have a support team. Well, gentlemen, great to see you again. It's been a minute. We've known each other varying from 2 years to 6, 7 years. So I'll start first with you, Mark, since we were just met together in person at a training event. You and I met at a training event a long time ago called Solar Mastery, when Powur was more of just becoming a sales organization. And you jumped on board and had some success. I know that model changed. You kind of shifted away. You did your thing, which is what happens. But why did you originally join Powur? What was in it for you?
Well, I was looking for a way to operate. And by the way, if you see bags under my eyes, it's because I traveled all day yesterday to get back from California back to Florida.
I have
So I
no
was
idea what you
looking,
mean.
I was looking for a way to operate. I was looking for an organization that I could operate with. And Powur provided one of the most compelling arguments in its model of crowdsourcing all aspects of the solar installation process and your focus on attracting professionals, which at the time I was a solar professional without a home. It was just a really compelling argument. And let me tell you, when you launched Enterprise, I've never run faster than getting back onto the Powur Platform to do more work than I had originally done.
And yeah, you mentioned that, and I'm very glad you did, because I saw you as one of the perfect candidates for Enterprise based upon my working relationship with you in the past. What has it done for you? How has it improved your position overall? What's Enterprise done?
Well, I'll tell you, sitting here and listening to you for the last half an hour or so, I felt very attacked because everything that you had on screen, that was the journey I'd been through. And finding EPC partners, finding suppliers, finding staff, paying for software and licenses. I was dedicated to try to make my process scalable so that I could eventually grow and share, because I feel the urgency that a lot of us on this call feel, which is we need to get solar to happen for more people in more places more quickly. And it struck me in the heart when I sat with a client one day and he said, "Oh, I wish I had met you sooner." And he wasn't saying, "I'm not going to buy a system with you or have you manage my project." What he was saying is, "I didn't know you exist." And it made me suddenly reflect and think, I've got a long, rich history in the training environment, and I would love to train others on what I've already learned about the solar industry, specifically here in my state. But I need that infrastructure. And here we are. Powur provides an infrastructure that allows me just to let go of a bunch of stuff that I was sweating over, reduce my expenses, and focus on the people, which is exactly what I was looking to do.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's well said. And for those who might not pick up the part that I'm hearing, that also meant it saved you a bunch of money at the same time.
Just my CRM alone was over $6,000 a year. And then I had other software expenses. I had expenses that I've been able to reduce or eliminate in the way I manage my finances. My support personnel are doing completely different work now. Instead of having to launch or having to carry a huge function, they're now working with the many people at Powur that help us manage our projects, and their workload is lighter, so they're able to handle more projects. So I have fewer people needed to handle more work. It's the very accelerator that I was looking for.
Awesome. That's what I'd like to hear. We'll stick with this to go in case there's anything else that comes after. But I want to bring Rhino to the front here. And Rhino, I'll let you tell the story. But when we connected through LinkedIn, and I think we kind of tracked each other on LinkedIn for a while, and you were watching what we were doing, and you chatted me up one day, said you really want to become part of Powur. Let's talk about that story. Why, first of all, because your company, I'll tell a little bit, and then I want you to fill in some gaps. Hawaii Unified, one of the, if not the top solar company in Hawaii, and well-respected, a local brand, decided that they wanted to leverage the Powur Platform, doing $20 million a year in sales.
That's right. Yeah.
Help the audience understand why Powur for Hawaii Unified.
Well, I'm actually on the other side of the fence than Mark. I'm a EPC construction company by roots, and where I was really challenged in operating the business is building a loyal and dependable sales team. And it was just really hard to find a way to properly incentivize people to stay with our organization and not get lured away for another penny a watt or something like that. And so when I saw what Powur was, I found it just happenstance online, and I could see that it was a way that would lure salespeople in, and they'd want to stay with the organization because they could build something long term. I've always said salespeople, they're from job to job to job. They always have to sell another job. What Powur does, from my observations, it's a way to build a solar sales career. And so I figured this would be exactly what I needed to add to our organization to really build a dependable pipeline. And what I really liked is it actually helped share the piece of the pie for the commissions within the community. And, I believe the best solar companies have been built off of referrals. And what Powur is, it's like a referral platform on steroids. So I chased you down pretty hard to try and convince you to, Powur to come to Hawaii for about a year until we were finally able to meet up, and it was all in God's timing, I guess. Right time, right place.
Absolutely right. And we'll talk about the next phase of that here in just a few minutes. But you keyed in on something that I faced when I was running my own solar company. I loved doing it. There's no question. It was a lot more stress than it is doing it this way. But what I witnessed is I would spend a year training and getting people up to kind of really getting the game and teaching lead gen skills, teaching them whatever it took to be successful, only to have them go over to the company that I was getting my red line program from because I want a better red line, right? Loss of people after all that investment of time. When we designed this program, by design, it was done to make sure we protect the owner from that occurring through registering people in the network and not allowing those people to just bump. It's going to be no place else to go at the end of the day. When we've got this model all dialed in and we've got the consolidation done, where are they going to find a better red line, better cost of goods? So, yeah, good. Glad to hear you say that. And what has this done economically for you, Rhino? You talk about some of what you just covered, but I know that you invest a lot into software, into all the infrastructure that it takes to support your business. How's that affecting you with cash flow and all of that?
Well, we've been in the industry doing renewable energy solar for over a decade. And over that time, our software needs have continued to evolve, and we've added, new software, new CRMs, new workflow management, et cetera, new accounting ways to track all this, plus commission tracking. When I saw what enterprise is and what it has to offer, for me, it was just like, how fast can we get this going? Because we're going to be able to shed over $300,000 to $400,000 a year in software costs. Right now, it's just a hairball of software trying to connect one thing to the next, and now to bring it all inclusive on the platform. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that because that's going right to the bottom line.
Makes up for a lot of $350 a month licensing payments here, huh?
Yeah, 1,000 of them.
Yeah, sometimes that's the funnier things that I hear when people say, I got to pay to it's software as a service. So yes, if you're going to go out, anybody who's running a business, I was using just one app that I was doing $397 a month to be able to manage my CRM and messaging and all that and more. And Powur provides all of that now in the platform, and it's going to continue to invest into that, which is what's wonderful for us. And the better the software gets, it's not like we're seeing price increases. All the new users coming in the platform help create that revenue to build a better platform. Right?
The other thing that was really compelling, Charles, was, the procurement level with the platform. For a contractor in the solar industry, the markup or margin on procurement and the equipment is so small. It's it'll knock a good CFO off their seat because they think it's ridiculous that we're buying all this equipment and making so little money on it. So the fact that Powur takes that on and we're able to leverage, the national buying power that Powur has and get the equipment, we're seeing at least 10, sometimes up to 20% reduction in equipment costs that can be passed on to the homeowner and not have to take a bite out of the seller's commissions or our company's operating revenues. I mean, this is, it just makes total sense.
Fantastic. So last question for you, and then I'm going to go back to Mark for one question. There's a couple of local build partners who are on the Zoom here tonight. And, they've got pride in their brand. They want to maintain their brand. What would you say to them in helping them make this decision to partner with Powur and advance their business? What would you say?
Well, two things is, Powur allows us to co-brand. And so you're not giving up your identity or reputation that you've built all these years. What you're actually able to do is enhance it. Now you have a new partner that's going to bring all these additional resources to your company and make you more efficient and help bring in additional sales. So, I mean, there's a total win-win there. And then what I really like is people that I actually used to get referrals from, other contractors, now I'm able to actually sign them up as a partner in Powur as well, and really get the loyalty to always have their business coming forward.
That's something that we don't talk a lot about during the presentation, but since you brought that up, we talked about the override structure that we receive within our either our seated network, or we refer other people, we call them unseated. The difference is the seated are in your organization, but you've got to cut this umbrella, and you can refer other solar companies, other roofing companies, other whatever type of companies, and every sale that they generate that gets installed, because we only make money when we get solar installed, we get a piece of that revenue, not from their revenue, but from Powur's 15. That's the beauty of the model. Powur has that 15% set aside to reward us, rather than hiring a bunch of key executives and regional managers and all of that. They empower us because we have relationships. We've built trusted partnerships. So thanks for bringing that up. Thank you. Well, I said it was the last question, but I will say this is the last question. And might as well say it for this audience. I believe there's a very special date. Last thing I do tonight is I'm booking a flight to be in Oahu. And we're having our grand opening event. Where and when?
All right. So the grand opening for the official Powur launch in Hawaii is July 8th. We've kept it a secret locally. It's at a brand new event space. It's called Vai-Kai, W-A-I Kai. And what it is a beautiful restaurant overlooking a lagoon with a surf pool in it. So it's going to be a great party, and we're really looking forward to hosting you guys there.
That's awesome. Look forward to being there. And I think you're investing as much into that as you would almost invest into a solar system, from what I.
This is true. Yes.
Well, we honor you, my friend. Mahalo. It's just truly been a blessing having you, and look forward to really lighting up that market and doing all the things that we're doing. Go local Powur. That's the key thing.
Yep. Very excited.
Thanks, Rhino.
Aloha.
Mark, last question for you, my friend. And I guess kind of the same frame. What was your experience before solar?
Before Powur or before solar?
Before.
Okay, sorry. Before solar, I'm thinking, man, that's a lot of years.
A long time ago, engineer.
Well, Rhino kind of triggered me when he said, we're in a different situation, but something that I have been working on for some time is to bring the EPC that I've been relying on outside of the Powur network into the Powur network. I think there's never been a better time. Everything you said, Rhino, makes a whole lot of sense. My experience before Powur was a lot of frustration with not knowing who was responsible for what and where these things were coming from. I wanted to make sure that I delivered value to my customers, and I sat with them and I promised them a certain outcome. And then I would have to just kind of hope and pray that outcome would happen. And there were a lot of moving parts that I couldn't see, a lot of transparency that wasn't there. One of the things that excited me about the enterprise system for Powur is all that transparency that you showed in the early part of this meeting with the price breakdown, the cost of goods model, being able to set exactly what value all of my people are being paid, whether they're in a support role or whether they are sellers, and change that compensation as they continue to develop and evolve so that I don't lose them. I hate that idea of investing a year or two into somebody and they get really great and then they decide to go and make 5 cents more somewhere else. Powur has given me a lot of flexibility I didn't have before, and it's also added additional revenue to my business. When I measured the before and after, the revenue that I've been able to see is an increase without putting that on the backs of my customers. My customers are not paying more. I'm simply realizing more revenue in my business. It's allowed me to do things that I didn't think I was going to be able to achieve for years to come.
Wonderful, Mark. Gosh, I'm so honored to be with both of you here this evening. Thank you for bringing your brilliance and your feedback and just really validating the things that we are trying to do to change this industry. We have a lot of work ahead of us. And it's people like you two and all of the others are going to follow who are going to help us achieve what we want, which is to decrease the carbon footprint, stop the pollution, stay away from controversial topics like global warming, just because not everybody lays there, but everybody believes in pollution. Even Hawaii, we had that conversation when we were there, even though it's clear and beautiful as it is. That's our mission, is to reduce our carbon footprint, help homeowners have energy independence, have freedom from the monopolized utility, and each and every single one of us have the opportunity to have multiple types of freedom. time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and inner freedom. And if you follow this platform, we can show you how to do that in 3 years or less. As an enterprise user, you're 90% of the way there. Just leverage our assets and you're going to get there faster than an individual seller can get there by far. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us this evening. Mark, Rhino, God bless you. I'll see you both soon. Have a wonderful evening. Mahalo.